No, thank you. It's been a while since you've been back, and it's great that Dave can be here too, because
Yes.
I think the three of us, our connection has kind of all evolved when the three of us were all together. It's not that we haven't had separate dialogues, but it's always more kind of fruitful when the three of us are here. So,
Yeah.
Chantal, I think the purpose for this originally was that you got plans to go to Shasta in March, and you had reached out for some suggestions, and I wanted to cover that. Have you been there before?
Not in the physical in this life.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, then go ahead. Here's your opportunity to ask questions, and we might as well cover it and record it for others. And Dave has certainly been there, so he has a perspective to offer as well.
That would be amazing. My number one question would be in the winter,
Well, my
what
number one question is
can
why
I
did
get
you
up to?
choose March?
Yeah, right.
Unless you just
Um,
there's something
I
that's
just have
pulling
to
you and you
go.
just got to go.
Yes,
Okay,
I have to
then
go.
that is the answer.
Yes. I feel like it's so interesting. I was looking at Airbnbs exactly this time last year and then again this year. And it's like time is overlapping and I'm finally going this March. And the mountain came to me in a vision after my dad passed away in November and said that it would heal me, help heal my heart. So I've been meaning to make my way over there. I've just been uh, in some other countries in the past few months, quite a few. So yeah, it's finally time for Shasta. And I did get a new download, finally some details about my next task, my next mission, and um, it it of course involves Telos and Lemurians, and so it's just time. I can feel them right now, and there's a lot of excitement. So I am going to be working while I'm there, so I'll be inside a lot. But I picked a place with a beautiful view, and I'm hoping to do some light language videos to tap into what would like to come through while I'm there. I know it's a high vibrational place. I'm incredibly excited to be in a place like that, and I've had the Sasquatch approach me about 2 years ago that they wanted to connect with me there. So there's just a lot. But from your perspective, what can be done in the winter? Just like Fairy Falls. Do you hike Fairy Falls in the winter?
The earliest I've been there in the calendar year has been mid-April, and there
Mid-April.
was still
Okay.
snow on the ground.
Yep.
And I think um, snow on the ground, say at like 4,500 foot elevation. So not really in town, although there's a little bit of snow on the ground. But usually the sun kind of takes care of that during the day. Once you get to the higher elevations, the snow will be there. And know that when you get to where Bunny Flat is, which is a really popular spot, there's one
Hmm.
road coming out of town, Everett Memorial Highway, that it will take you as high as you can drive on. I think it's the southern end of the mountain. That will be closed at Bunny Flat. So they don't even
Right.
plow the road
Beyond
past
that.
that. So if
Right.
you're interested in going higher than that, you're on your own hiking.
Hmm.
And it's another 3.3 miles if you follow the road from Bunny Flat up to Old Ski Bowl Trail. Now, when I was there in April, that that time that I was there, and I had seen how deep the snow was, because where they gated off there, they'll plow up to that point, and then past that, you see that well, people were walking on top of it, and the amount of snow was taller than I was. So that is how much snow is gets there. If you decide that you want to hike, that's how deep the snow is that you've got to get through. So without snowshoes or something like that, um, I made that hike once, but I did it as the crow flies from Bunny Flat. I didn't follow the road,
Okay.
which was problematic in the first place because there are multiple changes of elevation that I didn't account for when I just picked go from this place to that place. I went up to about 8,700 feet, which is the spot that I wanted to get to was about that high. Only to have to negotiate another valley and come up again. So you really wanted to have to be there. And I did under the circumstances. It was the year after my Telos incident, and I wanted to go back to the original spot. And I didn't
Hmm.
want to wait till the road was open. And so I just determined one day, okay, I'll hike it. And this is the way I'm going to go. Learn many lessons. Took me 6 hours to hike it. But that
Awesome.
wasn't because I didn't, there were portals I'd found along the way, four, that I spent
Right.
some time at on the way there.
Perfect.
Now, you mentioned Fairy Falls, and if you like water, which I love to see water, there are incredible waterfalls around there. Fairy Falls should be open. That's more about the road that gets to it. Because when you get to the place where you can park and then hike up, from there, it's about a 30-minute hike and it's all up. Um, that's not really a road. It used to be a road. There long ago, there used to be some type of incredible health lodge that was there, kind of cut into the place, and you can see remnants of it. Um,
Hmm.
but aside from that, it's just foot traffic that would get up and down there. So if there's any snow, and that's about the same elevation as Lake Siskiyou,
Hmm.
you should be able to hike up to Fairy Falls. I've just never done it in the snow, so I can't speak to that. Castle Lake would be cool, but I can tell you for certain that it's not another 7 miles beyond the place where you would turn to go to Fairy Falls, and that will probably most certainly, depending on snow conditions, be difficult to negotiate. There is Hedge Creek Falls, which will be easier to get to. It's in a park in Dunsmuir, so that's worth seeing. And then McLeod Falls, which there's a favorite for everybody. There's three different levels. You can kind of start at the middle falls, and they'll be active this time of year because there's that much water that goes through there all the time. It's just a matter of how you want to hike. And if you go to the middle falls, you can't help but pass by the door to Telos if you're walking from where the middle falls are to upper falls.
Okay.
Um, let's see.
Beautiful.
Uh, Pluto's Cave is better done in better weather. Um,
Okay.
and then there's other places that I would point you to, but again, given the snow conditions, I'm not certain what it's going to be like because the places I like are off trail and without snow, they have their challenges on getting there. And there's other areas around there that I would suggest that you visit, but those are other day trips. There's plenty of places you can find on the mountain, and really anywhere there. Once your boots are on it, you will connect, honey. I promise.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you
That's
have
how
it
I
at
feel.
all, uh, there are two reasons I realize I like to go to Shasta when I go there. Um,
Hmm.
Most of them have to do with daylight activities, but I love stargazing. And from the top
Yeah.
of the mountain, that's the best place to do that. When I
Okay.
do it in the summer, those evenings can be chilly. So I don't know what those conditions would be like right now because it's just cold. And when it gets down to, freezing, um, it's hard to sit outside. Nonetheless, the sky is clearer there than most places you get to see. So it's always worth it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
Um,
You should go to City Park and get water from the headwaters. Um, I, I am eternally disappointed when I finally leave Shasta after being there for any length of time. Because the first year I went there, I bought so much bottled water just to stay hydrated while I was hiking, only to come back the second year and someone say, "Have you been to Headwaters yet?" Do you
Right.
get your water there? And I went, no, what's that about? Well, when they explained it, and you have it, there's something about that water that it doesn't need to be filtered in any way. When you get it
Mm-mm.
at that source, it's almost ice cold, so refreshing. That's all you ever want to drink. And you will tell the difference between that water and anything else you've ever had.
Mhm. I'm excited. I'm excited to
Yeah.
try the water. I have heard about some hot springs and a place, I think it's like a mineral spring, and you can do like cold plunges after a sauna. So I don't know. I mean, I'm Canadian, so I've got the gear. I'm willing to
Good
I'm
for you.
willing to try this out. Yeah, why not? I'm there for a month. 6 hour hikes, no problem.
Good for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to reach out because there's some people that you should connect with there.
Okay.
There's two for sure. I would have connected you with Brian Kibmiri right away, but I understand he's moving out of Shasta now after being there for a few years, and it happens to be in March. Um, but there are a few other people that I know are live there and they're out and about and active. There are a couple of other kind of insider information. There's a place called Heart Space. It's two words. It's right on the main drag. I'm trying to remember saying. I met the owner Wayne and his wife, I think 3 years ago. He'd been really
Okay.
successful in Silicon Valley, and all of a sudden had this pull, quit his job, sold everything, moved up here, and opened this crystal shop. And they do some meditative sessions. Well, with the insider information about Wayne's place is that, and I think this is still true, the shop actually opens at noon. But if you're an
Okay.
insider and you know about this, if you get there between 11 and 11:11, there is a meditative session that costs nothing. If you want to make a donation, that's great. Wayne leads one that he performs until they open the doors at noon. So if you get there early enough, you
Beautiful.
just have to be there by 11:11 and the door's locked. If you're there before, great. If not, then you missed your opportunity. I think they still do that.
Beautiful. That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to connecting with the people as well, of course. So that's amazing. I know that there's a crystal matrix store. I've heard of Heart Lake. Um,
Heart Lake is if you find Castle Lake
yep,
and you do the hike, Heart Lake is immediately behind it, but it's a good 40-minute hike and
yep.
it's aggressive.
You need some snowshoes.
If you're
Okay,
going this
perfect.
time of year, you absolutely do.
Yeah.
But right now, the conditions would be so pristine, it would just be beautiful.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll make it
Good.
work. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to watching the ships. I just get these visions of like light ships going in and out of the mountain, and I'm looking forward to just stargazing and yeah, being in the energy. So
I saw my first legit UFO over the mountain one night. I had been stargazing up to that point, and the way I
mhm.
was situated, the mountain was behind me, and I was looking off into the sky that way. Well, when the full moon came out, you could not see the Milky Way the way we could when it was a new moon, and the moonlight didn't disturb seeing the sky the way that you should have. So that night, when I couldn't really see the sky, I thought, I'm going to turn around and watch the mountain tonight. Heard so much about people who've seen activity, maybe tonight will be my night. And
Mhm.
so, well, I did. It was right before 11 o'clock, and I had seen a couple of shooting stars. They kind of went across the horizon this way, and another one crossed that way, and Polaris was right over Mount Shasta. Well, I'd
Beautiful.
seen one more, what I thought was a shooting star, that started kind of parallel to Polaris and shot down toward the mountain and then disappeared for a moment. And then it went that way. Okay, that was not a shooting star.
No,
And I
trying to get
got
your
my
attention.
validation because a moment after that, somebody 2 cars down from me said, "Did you see that?" Yes, I did. Thank you for the validation.
It's
Yes.
amazing.
Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah.
can't rule out contact with the Lemurians. I wasn't going to be the only one. I'm still waiting to hear the next time it's going to be somebody. So, those of you that are in alignment, you're ripe for this. And so are the conditions right now. With all the stuff that, especially, has been changing energetically,
Mhm.
since the first of the year and really within the last few weeks, there are more multidimensional experiences that are occurring.
Mhm.
And I certainly understand the reason why. This consciousness shift on the planet herself is taking place, and us sentient beings are picking up on that vibration. We know that we feel it. And that's why we're being shown a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. As soon as you're used to seeing this, we're going to show you a little bit more because the freaking clock is ticking. There's a finite amount of 3 dimensional time remaining. End of line.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
My sessions have ramped up just oh my gosh, the past 2 weeks and getting more uh, just so much more potent and preparing people for their soul purpose so much more intense. Like it's here, it's
Yeah.
here. And
Let me
it's
ask you, with
beautiful.
these people that are coming, are these people that are newly awakened, or they've been like this for a while and all of a sudden they've cracked into a whole nother level?
Yes.
It's the whole nother
Uh
level that
yes.
I'm
Yes.
experiencing.
Yes,
Good.
exactly. Exactly. I haven't even posted on my channel for quite some time, and yet I'm booked solid all the time. And it's spirit connecting me, our higher selves connecting people to me all of the time. And these are people who have been awake quite some time and they have advanced missions and just preparing them for it, bringing in the codes of the energies lately so that they're the bridge. Um, so difficult for me to articulate. I can speak light language, but English is a whole other thing, I swear. Yeah.
There's no way. I tried. There have been a couple opportunities in the last several days for me to articulate more about what's going on.
Right.
And I can't
I
describe
know. I know.
multidimensionality
I
to
can't.
myself to make it words, English
Yeah.
words that would make sense to anybody. It's just a feeling that once
Yes.
you're around it, you just pick up on it, and then you
Mm-hmm.
understand the nature of your electromagnetic being.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you get around other people, they don't have to speak a word. You just sense them in space. And that is what's blossoming. That
Mm-hmm.
whole sense of your aura being like this feeling tool now. Um, Somebody the other day asked me if I could see auras, and I've been able to see them for a while. And the answer was, well, I see past them. They're just all kind of part and parcel of this 4 dimensional view that I get now. And so if you want me, if you ask me if I can see auras, I'd have to focus on just that part of it and like extract it out of the image. It's,
Okay.
yeah,
Exactly. I mean, auras are one thing, but I'm seeing that these people have merged, like there are other aspects. I'm looking at people and they're merged. I'm seeing their mermaid self. I'm seeing their elven self. Um, so yeah, way beyond auras at this point. That's how thin the
yes,
veil is. Yeah.
yeah.
So, let me think if I have any other questions. Um, Thank you for your recommendations. They were amazing.
I'm happy to share the things that
Thank you.
resonated with me. There's a few other places I would recommend, but you
Mhm.
need a good day to get to. Uh, it's not Multnomah Falls. That's in Oregon. Um, I'll think of it in a minute. But there's one falls that come out of the side of the earth. Um, Dang it. It starts with an M. You have to follow the railroad tracks, and really, officially, you're trespassing, but it doesn't stop the thousands of people that go there. It's just a different kind of magic when you see the falls coming out of the whole wall of, you know, earth over there. It's amazing. And then there's some pools that just follow the Sacramento River here along the way. Absolutely worth seeing. And in the summer months, although the water can be a little cool, you can actually get into it there. It's great.
Okay, awesome.
Hmm.
Sounds good. I know that this won't be my first time. Or sorry, this won't be my last time.
Good
This
answer.
is just the first time. So,
That's the nature of it. I went the first time, I thought I was going for a week. 5 weeks later, because I had to leave, I did, but I didn't want to. And just give me a reason, an excuse to have to go back, to sign me up. I'm good to go. And anyone who's been there and experienced these kind of phenomenon say exactly the same thing. There's a palpable energy there that you can, I want to say that you can ethereally touch and feel it. Because as soon as my boots are there, it's like whatever my physical being is, and at my stage of age, I should require more time to recover from the types of hikes that I take, and none of that is necessary. In the four or so, I think 3 years now, I've been going back and forth multiple times. Every time I go there, the experience is the same. It's my joints feel like they've been reconditioned, like they've
mm,
been refreshed in some way and regenerated. Pick a word. That's what I feel like. I I was a
beautiful.
pretty good hockey player, and when I was in my peak, I was probably my late teens and early 20s. That's what my joints feel like now.
Wow. I understand entirely. I'm seeing them working, being able to work on you when you're there. Mm, your high vibrational team, your the beings that can do like energy healing on you essentially. I'm seeing them be able to work on you there a lot easier. So probably when you're resting, um, yeah, they're there working on you, and that's why you're feeling so
The energy's
amazing.
right to do that.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
but we bring that with us. So, the patients that are brought there, it reminds me of what I was told here at the beginning of the year. And so I'm going to say it out loud every time I get a chance to. We're done healing. Of course, you know that already. Having helped others, all we did was help them heal themselves.
Yeah.
That's all we can do with it. We're done with the healing part. We've been healing for years now. We've got it down. If we understand our chakra system and how it aligns us, we are totally in sync and in charge of achieving the vibration we wish. So
Mhm.
embrace that and run with it. And
Yeah.
well, there was
Ma
an end to
magical.
that thought, and I don't know where the hell it went, but
No, the things that we're capable of now. Um, yeah, and have always been.
yes.
But
We're on to transformation. I
yeah.
should finish the thought. We're done healing. We know we carry light, and we know what to do with it now. So now is the part for us to transform into who we were supposed to be and take advantage of those tools. It had been placed into my field long ago that we were here to transmute negative energy into light. Whatever form that might be, here we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, that's what I've been doing. Yes, exactly. I love it. And I've been traveling so much lately. Um, just all over the world and some really dense places. And I feel like um, the light language that's coming through is just kind of helping to
Clear.
clear.
You're busy helping clear
Yeah,
these areas. Right now,
exactly.
in my estimation, what's going on are the final stages of preparing these golden tie allotments. These areas have been predisposed to this higher vibration. People have been going there and helping clear them for a while, and others have
Mm-hmm.
been drawn to them for reasons they don't really understand. Well, yeah, you might
Mm-hmm.
not be aware, but I wanted to move to Hawaii, or I wanted to move to Egypt, and I don't know why, or I moved to the Sedona
Exactly.
area, or I'm going to Shasta, and I don't understand why, but I'm going. Here's the reasons why. There's
Mm-hmm.
something in our vibration, in our field that's triggered us to go there. And we just have to pay attention to that intuitive, wisdom. And if we do, we'll
Exactly.
find out why we're supposed to be there once we get there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Have you I know you're in Sedona now. Do you feel a calling to anywhere else? Like, I resonated with what you said about Glastonbury because that's been calling to me, particularly a spring there. But yeah, so that's within the next couple of months for me as well, and Hawaii for me as well. I've had a lot of visions lately of that. So yeah, what about you?
I didn't have really any plans outside of Shasta, although my
Mhm.
guides had always said, just be ready to travel. Well, I am. Uh,
Yeah,
I thought I was going back to Germany at some point, and I know I will be. But this opportunity about Glastonbury, it's funny that you bring it up because the guy who reached out from London, I think it was the week before last, Jody, kind of found me in his Lemurian search too, and we just kind of clicked. I have a Zoom interview with him tomorrow. We Zoomed before so we could get to know one another. We thought, let's get together for 15 minutes and, kind of just get a feel for one another. Well, an hour, 20 minutes later, we're done. And we know that this needs to move forward. He starts to tell me about there's a Glastonbury festival, and that's not what I'm referring to because that's a music festival. But there's
yeah,
some other kind of metaphysical thing there at the end of September that he said, you need to be here. You should present at this. And it's a lot like, the conscious life expos we have here domestically. It's kind of that format. Um, but he said he knew the organizer. We wanted to reach out to him. And if you're interested in that, Lowell, I'm going to Romania about a month after that. I think you should go there too. So
oh,
stay
Romania.
tuned.
Okay.
We'll see, what actually comes of all of it. But that was going to be after the spring and summer months when Dave and I
Mhm.
really had thought that with the number of people that are reaching out, that there is some value to meeting with people, small groups, and
Yeah,
connecting with them one on one in person in these energetic spots so that
yeah,
you can have your own experiences too. That's what I'd kind of filled my dance card with until September. So the timing would be fine, but something tells me that between now and then, there's going to be other places for all of us to be called in to be.
yes, that's beautiful. I'm so happy that you're doing that. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm back in the summer, then that's what we'll do. I'll connect with you.
We'll figure it out. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Mm. Um, Also your beautiful cards, Lowell. How can we purchase those? Are they on your website?
There's a link to them. I'm not at a place where I can buy them in bulk, and that's why they're the cost they are. I'll just tell you up front if somebody's
Oh
interested in them,
yeah.
isn't that they're here. They're $111 for 60 cards, and then there's $9 for shipping. Um,
That's nothing.
they cost well, you're right. I know what people spend on metaphysical things. I didn't really struggle with the cost too much. Um, because I'd been asked to do a book before. Like last year, I think just about this time, somebody asked me to do a coffee table book of like the elementals, and I think it was the Galactic Travelers. Well, there were four editions. Um,
Wow.
the company that I worked with, this online publisher, could do them hardcover, full color, and but they were going to be like $275. And I asked myself, who's going to spend that kind of money? And my guide said, never mind who you think will buy them.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are supposed to will. And so as
Mm-hmm.
soon as I put them out there, because somebody asked me to, somebody bought two of the books. Well, when you produce them, they send them to you. And the first book I ever produced was a soft cover, and it was color, and the colors was good. I was surprised because I used a lot of photographs, especially the light beams. When I went to these cards, every time I was using, Discord, and I wanted to um, enhance the color, I would use the phrase full spectrum color, and man, would it be achieved. You've seen the cards, they're
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
I wanted to see whether the printers would be able to capture that. And I was blown away. They did. So I had high expectations after what came out of the books, that when we went to the cards, that they would show the same kind of detail. And I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't disappointed either. They're great.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll get to the point where I can kind of buy them in bulk and drop the prices. But right now, it's not practical. It's not, I'm more mobile than not. So I still need to have them drop shipped from the printers, because they print them and then I want to see them before they go out and make sure that they're okay. And drop a note into the people that are buying them. But that's starting to pick up again. I had put a lot of this artwork on Redbubble a year ago, and I kind of
Mm-hmm.
forgot that it was there. And this week, I saw two orders came through. Now I don't pay any attention to that; it's just been out there for a while. And what were the
Mm-hmm.
orders for? Somebody liked some of the Stargate Guardians, and they put them on socks. So
Okay.
exactly.
People are going to be drawn to what they're going to be drawn to, and when it's
Exactly.
meant. But
Well,
this
that
stuff is
was
just
why
priceless.
Redbubble was so cute, because you had lots of options on what you wanted to print this stuff on. It wasn't just if you wanted to put a print on the wall. That's really what drew me there in the first place. And then you can put on a t-shirt or what, socks, an A-frame dress, and
Okay.
yes.
Amazing. Well, thank you for doing that work. I love it. It's
Well,
very
we learned
activating.
all of these were tools that we had accumulated over time. The
Hmm.
4 sessions Dave did, tools. We recorded those, so now we can go back and refer to them. And God
Hmm.
knows that when I talk about protocols, contact beyond earth sentience, I point people back to Dave is the guy that taught us how to do that. So those tools that we prepared a long time ago are going to pay dividends later,
Well, if I
Right.
as
could,
people are trying to understand. Yes, it's your turn.
no, I'm perfectly happy to listen, but I had a couple of things I wanted to talk to Chantal about as well, and I really appreciate being sitting here with you guys. Chantal and I have had a couple opportunities to communicate back and forth. Chantal, I just want to say welcome home, and you had a big trip, and you went around to a lot of places. One of the blessings that I was able to bring to Lowell's community was we had, Vivian Chauvet came and visited us, and we did a Star Chat interview with Viv. And one of the things that Vivian had mentioned that was just so important was that when she was visiting sacred sites, and I know that part of your agenda was to go to places that had specific energy, she had made an effort to give back to those sites by connecting with the Arcturans. And I also, I'm a little psychic, And so a couple of things popped into mind while seeing you and listening to Lowell and you talk. Were you able to do the same thing? Were you able to go to these sites and give back rather than just do what people who don't pay attention to love energy, universal law, to source? Were you able to give some healing back to those sites and bring those healings down from your star family and give thanks to those sites? Because it's something that's really important for all of us to remember when we're traveling as ambassadors. And Chantal, I also wanted to tell you how very proud the Galactic Council of Scientists and Taurus ambassadors are of you, because you're doing what you're supposed to do as an ambassador. You're a goodwill ambassador. When you travel our Earth in the means that we have available to us to do that, it takes a lot of energy. And I know that you were doing the right thing because you're out spreading your sunshine and spreading your healing. Did you have any specific places that you visited on your travels before you got home that you wanted to talk about a little bit, and some of the energy exchange that you may have encountered in some of these special places?
Hi, yeah, likewise. It's such a blessing to be with you and Lowell as well. And thank you. Yes. So these trips are planned already, and I joined them, but divinely so. And light language would pour through me. Ruins that had been taken over, that were portals on ley lines, that had been taken over. So I would clear them. Churches. So I did. I'll give you an example. Venice. Wow. Lots of work in Venice. I opened some portals with the assistance of whom I was with, to help with, ghost mediumship. I know you're into rescue mediumship as well. And there's so many trap souls in Venice.
Right.
So we
right.
created a beautiful bright light for them to help them pass through. Yeah, it was beautiful. And okay, some ruins in French Polynesia. There was darkness there, and some portals that were taken over there. So I cleared them. What else? Ooh, France. So I visited, what's it called? Saint Montmichel. I'm not pronouncing that correctly. You think a Canadian could speak French, but oh
Right.
gosh.
Michel.
Mont,
Michel.
yes. Thank you. Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's
So
wonderful. I was so excited that you were going there because I just absolutely love Montmichel. And
you did.
it's like an adventure fairyland in sandstone and sort of that gray granite. Interesting
Yeah.
place. Did you get to the top and go through some of the older buildings up there?
Yes, so the Abbey, yes. So but my experience was different. I don't know how many years ago you were there.
2005.
Okay, so it had been taken over, and I was very excited because it was a Archangel Michael ley line, whom I'm, connected with. But it had been his authority had been stolen there. They've been taken over, and it was almost like a hell realm, to be honest. It was like a flipped up, like phantom matrix, and the people
Mhm.
weren't even in their bodies. Their consciousness were stolen. And there were a lot of trap souls there too. So did a lot of healing there, clearing there with the beautiful souls I was with. But it did take, yeah, it took a toll. So Archangel Michael has, gained some of his authority back there.
Great. Great.
Yeah, and we've been keeping an
Yeah,
eye on that.
I remember
So,
talking to you about bringing Michael down and welcoming Michael down. So that's
yeah.
wonderful, because up in the Abbey there's a dungeon,
Mhm.
and in the 70s and 80s, I mean, when I was there, I wasn't doing any light work. I was there doing wine tastings. but but I've always been very intuitive, and so
Mhm.
all of my life I've seen ghosts, spirits of people that don't know that they're gone, and you've got to show them the light and help them leave. And I've never been afraid because I don't know anybody. I'm going to repeat my friend Biba. She said something very funny the other day on her show. I've never heard about anyone being killed by a ghost. It just doesn't happen. Maybe in the movies, but there's just unfortunate souls. And I knew in the 70s and 80s there had been a lot of drugs, and there had been a lot of weird people allowed to tramp around up there, and there were some weird entities that they brought in with them, and that dungeon area was always a place of suffering. And I felt almost unable to go into that part of the abbey when I was there, and I saw a monk spirit, and I just sort of turned around and left and went back down to this little cheese shop that's about, I don't know, 200 meters, 300 meters down from the abbey. And I'm really glad that you did that, because giving back and drawing the light back down is so important for trapped souls. And you must have had some experience of something coming up to you, being attracted to you because of the light that you produce. Do you have any specific memory of any kind of thing that was kind of strange while you were up there? Or were you able to just sort of be your presence and shine your light and return some love and bring Michael down and then just sort of leave? Because for me, it was a very spooky place. And at the time, I wasn't in connection with my own ability to bring down angelic spirit power and bring down light and release trapped souls. I mean, you're so good at that. And so for me, even though I'm a big guy, it's still kind of a spooky place. And I would want somebody with you, like you, with me if I was there. And then the other thing, you went to French Polynesia, right?
Yes.
You went, right. So my psychic voice is telling me to mention to you giving the shirt off your back. Does that resonate with you at all? You want to talk about that? Okay. Well, really good for you, because I know you're a very generous person.
Thank you.
And that you give everything to everybody around you. So did you get any sort of extra wisdom about yourself and who you are when you were in that region? Because while you were traveling, we had some interesting things happen here. There were sightings in Miami, but more important than that is there were a lot of energetic portholes that were opening up all over. And you must have sensed that as well, because it's one of the reasons all the ambassadors have been traveling around is to attend to these portholes. Yes. So there must have been some experience for you to do that. And I only know a little bit about this because Kim Jim tells me when there are changes occurring, and he said that March is going to be a special month for all of us. He also said to remember to go along with the changes, that the changes that are occurring in March will be things that have nothing to do with your control, and to just be happy and go along with them because they're changes that you were prepared for intuitively. And so there'll be things that are about, letting go of old habits and perhaps systems of control that helped us get along with our lives. And we'll find that perhaps there's some attachments we no longer need. There's some inner strengths that are coming forward. And I think a lot more of that's going to be revealed to us in March. Do you sort of understand that?
Yes,
I
do. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I feel it.
Yeah, I guess this sort of region where, like Lowell said earlier, is that the word of man fails us on so many levels. And it's our intuition, and it's our innate sense of just being that is the communication. And, I laugh with some of our other friends that when Robin comes down here to visit, we don't really need to talk. We just go sit on the beach and hang out for 45 minutes. And we let the energy exchange. We don't need to work things out or convince each other of anything, or, we're able, Robin and I have this ability to, and I have this with Lowell for the most part. It's different because we're guys. is to not preach to the converted. And we never worry about bringing up anything new because we don't care. Everyone's on their own path. So it's really just helping people reveal their own path to themselves and just stay happy on your path, right? Because we're staying focused, and then we're sort of going to accept any of these great changes that are coming, especially in March. It's kind of like a porthole. The whole month is going to be a porthole of change for everybody. And we just have to go along with it and be happy because your intuition is correct. Your intuition is correct, and Lowell's is correct. And I think March is probably going to be a good month for all of us, especially ambassadors, to not try and describe the divine, but let the divine flow through us, right? Because the words of man are failing us. And as we see the old systems of man fall to the wayside and new earth come forward, we have to be happy with releasing that stuff. And there might be a little turmoil, there might be some struggles and stuff, but be happy about them because that represents the change of your new self. So, yeah. So welcome home. And I'm so very proud of you. And I think that when you get to Shasta, Lowell's mentioned a lot of great places. I know you've done a little research, so I'm sure you don't want to fill up your schedule too much because you're a very intuitive person. And so I think when you get there, you're going to feel drawn to sort of going to explore places where you just feel like going to. And I always like that. Shasta has a lot of great places to go to. And I was blown away because my intuition was telling me, oh, I want to go see that. I want to go see that. But I was sort of corralled because I was stuck doing Bob Potter's gig up there. And that was fun. But there was a lot of places that I almost wanted to go to instead, but I was there for a mission to talk about my experience. And then the other thing about ships, I'm speaking with this wonderful person in Ireland. Her name's Biba. She's like me in a lot of the respects, is that it's not about the ships, and it's not about the words of men. It's not about guys going, oh, do you think extraterrestrials are here to harm us, or are they good? It's like banal, infantile conversation. Doesn't even enter the equation. It's like saying, are animals good or animals bad? Is the weather good or is the weather bad? And she said this really great metaphor that she used was, well, yeah, cold weather and stormy weather is bad if you're homeless. But for the most part, it's part of nature and it's fun to be in, because we usually have some little bolt hole to go into and have a hot toddy and sit by the fire when it's too cold. So nothing is bad. Nothing is bad. There's no fear. Remember, Kim Jim told me back in 2017 that the divine creator of all light and love, who came before time, would never produce anything in this universe to cause any species fear or harm. And that those concepts are manifestations of our earliest beginnings that we are getting rid of. They're gone. There's no more fear. And we're going to get rid of all the suffering, all the fear, all the pain. And we're coming into a new world of abundance. But it's funny because it is difficult to try and describe. So I'm not working at anything either. And I think that I can see that with you too. You're sort of showing this very powerful, dynamic self-growth that doesn't include following others and following extra information. It's sort of just now you're able to open these things up fully and allow the experience to come to you because it's so desperate to come to you, isn't it? It's just the universe is giving. And it's such a great time to open up to that, like the flower that you are. So, and then the other thing before I stop talking is Kim Jim's just told me about 20 minutes ago that to tell Chantal that all you have to do if you want to see the big galactic cruiser, his big ship, if you want him to come down, he said that you would know that when the time was right. And all you have to do is look up to the sky and say, I know you're there. And he said that they will reveal themselves to you. So anytime you need that, yeah. So when you need that kind of affirmation,
Mhm.
when you need that kind of positive affirmation. And it's always nice because our friends above know that we like to see them, and seeing them, it doesn't mean we're receiving a lesson or some special thing that we're going to have to share, because it's not about the ships, it's about the message, right? So the higher elevated humans that are in the contact experience, we've all received the message. It's not about the ships, it's not about technology, it's about the message, which is life. Message is about life. So I think you're going to have a lovely time. I might go check out a job opportunity in Florida, and if it pans out, it's good money, and I'll split for a while to make some bucks. Otherwise, we're still running our organic pie shop and healing pregnant mothers and making little children calm down because they're not eating super ultra refined chemical sweeteners. So we're doing our job to protect people's genetic integrity. And so that's what we're going to be doing here. And the beach is beautiful. And I told you, when you're ready for some warm weather, if you've got your partner or if you're alone, you're welcome to come and stay here. And we'll figure out a really great place for you guys to stay at the beach and sit in the
Thank
hot
you.
sand and go swimming. We've got a lot of dolphins and fish out here. So it's been beautiful. And I know that you're really connected to them as well.
I
So
am.
why don't you and Lowell catch up a little bit? I'm really proud of you, and I
Thank
just think you're
you.
an amazing, sweet soul. And you
Thank
know me,
you.
anytime you need something, just give me a bell, and I'm there for you. Right?
Okay, thank you. Same with
Many
you.
blessings.
Thank you
Such
for
a
your
sweet soul.
message. Thank
Such a sweet
you.
soul. Many blessings. All right, Lowell, thanks very much. And I'll just listen to you guys finish off.
Thanks, Dave.
Well, this was for Chantal, for her to kind of get a
Um,
little uh, elevated look of where to go, what to do. You had mentioned a crystal gallery. There are 5 or 6 of them, and I love to see them all. The crystal room has
yeah.
a soft spot. However,
Okay.
you definitely need to go to the Matrix Crystal Gallery and
Mhm.
see Maziba, the proprietor. You'll
Okay.
know the moment you meet Maziba, this guy is from somewhere else, and he can answer galactic questions um, quickly. You'll just know. Um, he's he's a bit of an acquired taste because he has some odd behavior about him sometimes. But
Mhm.
once he zeroes in on who you are,
Mhm.
and he'll be able to collect with your galactic side and give you explanations of it. He's an amazing resource, is my point. I had been
Awesome.
given some rocks, crystals. I had some dust from one and a little shard of another one from some rocks that I had been shown and told were from inner Earth. And I was allowed to keep the shard and the dust that was in the little plastic bag that came with it. And so I didn't know what to make of it. When someone said it came from there, what argument can I make? I don't really know. Well, I took it to Maziba and he put it over some light and he said, well, I don't know about the inner Earth thing or how it got there, but this is from the Heart Nebula. I went,
Oh,
the Heart Nebula in the yeah. That's where this originated. So I'm not sure how it got here, but that's where it came from originally. So he kept the shard in that. I said, I really have no use for this. You seem to know more about this, so I'm going to leave it with you. If I need it, I'll know where to find it. He's a wonderful resource like that, and he's
beautiful.
got not just crystals in his place. Um, he had, um, I thought it was a rock when I first held it. I was at a function here, kind of a test retreat on the property I'm staying at.
Mhm.
And before it had happened, Julie, it takes this box out and she goes, I haven't taken this out since I got it at Maziba's place. And when she hands it to me, it's the shape of an egg, shall we say. Not really not looking at it. And so when she takes out of the box, we're about to go into a session um, with some sound healing and some toning. And so she said, well, here, you hold this and see what you can make out of it. Well, as soon as somebody hit the F sharp bowl, this, what I know now, dragon's egg started to vibrate the entire time that that bowl was tweaked. And while it's taking place, I'm having multi-dimensional experiences in the room. And for the uninitiated, I'll just leave that there. But you and I can talk about what really happened in the room. And it had to do with defying gravity while everybody
Oh,
else was
wow.
busy off where they were going. Anyhow,
Yep.
um, it came from his shop, was my point. He's got
Okay.
all kinds of wonderful artifacts there. And some of them, many of them, have some magical qualities that just need to be in the right hand of the right steward to activate
Perfect.
them. So when
Yeah.
Julie handed it to me and I looked at it as a rock, she goes, well, what is this? And to me, the Capricorn in me goes, I'm trying to figure out what the content is. Or is there metal in here? It kind of feels a little heavier than a rock. And that's where my mind is going. And then when this session begins and that frequency was triggered and the egg triggered, everything attached and what was holding the egg vibrated accordingly. It started vibrating my hands and worked its way into my heart core.
Beautiful.
Yes. Sound
Beautiful.
and vibration. I have a brand new appreciation and an awareness of what it really is and does.
Yes. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love it. That's so exciting. I cannot wait. I've had a crystal skull appear to me. So I have a feeling I'll come across one, hopefully in a shop that
There are a few
is calling out
places.
to me. Yeah.
Yes. Um, I'm not going to tell you how to shop. I know how crystals are meant to be found. And
Mhm.
really, they're not meant to be found on the internet. If that's the only way you can get them, I understand that. But get
Mhm.
out and they will speak to you.
Mhm.
They'll draw
Exactly.
your attention and
Mhm.
you'll know they're supposed to leave with you. I
Mhm.
would tell you to dispense with the idea that you're purchasing a crystal to buy. They're not
Mhm.
museum pieces, not any of them. These things have knowledge that they hold. They exchange
Exactly.
information. And really, I was telling somebody this year. I've always loved to go into crystal shops. And
Mhm.
I've certainly had more than my share of them call me and they went home with me.
Exactly.
Now, when I got back to Arizona and I started going to the crystal shops, my experience was entirely different. The empathic part of me was like I could hear them almost screaming when I got into the shop, like, get me the hell out of here. Like they're all supposed to be out doing something other than sitting on these shelves here looking pretty. They're meant
Mhm.
to be at work.
I
They're
know their consciousness, and I know I feel them. I hear them.
they're
I
all
know.
artifacts, honey.
Yeah.
Everything you're holding has been here a lot longer than you have, and it'll be here a lot longer than you will be. So put that into perspective when you start to hold these crystals and understand what they can do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
the
I don't know how I
Lemurian
got
court.
on that soapbox. Back to you.
Oh no, that's okay. I love it. I love it. I love you telling stories and I can relate. So and I feel like whoever needs to hear it will hear it.
Right.
If you happen to go on a tangent. So that's what I believe.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Well, what else can I tell you?
that was
Anything?
perfect. That
We
was
got it
perfect.
covered? All right.
Yeah.
Well, you
Thank
know
you
where to
so much.
find me. It was so good to see you again. I love when we record these things. So this will
Yeah,
benefit
so
other
good to
people that
see
are going to
you.
Shasta, and so it'll help.
Yes, yes, especially this time of year. Um, yeah, you don't have to wait if you're being called. Go. And yeah, I'm gonna share with you if something comes up. So
I was just about to ask that you would, because I know that things are going to happen. And the more other people get aware of the kind of magic that goes on there, the better it is for everybody.
yeah, thank
Somebody
you.
had accused me of, well, you too many people are going to come here listening to you. And it's just going to be
Mhm.
a mess and they won't respect it anymore. Well, that hasn't happened. The people that are meant to go there, like myself, go there and have the experience they're supposed to have. So,
Yes,
the rest of you that want to be naysayers, just be aware of what you put out is what you get in return. And I will leave it there.
exactly. That is beautiful. It is beautiful. You know, it's a tourist town, but I mean, we're all one. So,
Yes.
um, and yeah, if, you know, you are going to be respectful, then by all means, we're supposed to all share this world. And thank you for being so open and, you know, willing to share your knowledge about it. Like that is so appreciative. And
It's whatever. It's like serotonin that came from somewhere else. And when you take in so much of it, it needs to go somewhere else. So when I feel these magical things that happen in these other places, other people need to know about them
mhm,
because you might not be experiencing them yet,
mhm,
but you're a human vessel, just like I am, quite capable of having these experiences the same as mine if you focus your intent on it. And I can't even begin because people that are still a little unsure of what we're talking about at all have no frame of reference from where I came to where I am today and the differences between the energetic environment 4 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago compared to right now is
mhm,
different.
mhm.
Yeah.
I have had an experience. I can tell you about it. They're saying no. Not yet. Soon.
Okay.
In France. Yeah. Very magical forest. And yeah, so definitely have been experiencing some things, but yeah, that's it's just not okay to talk about yet. But yeah, I'm looking forward to my Shasta one.
All right. Good. Then I'm
Yeah,
looking.
we'll keep you
Now we have a
updated.
reason to come back and collaborate when you can talk about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
sounds good.
absolutely, absolutely, Chantal. There's the process of the experience passing through you and the experience leaving you with a special gift and a message. And you are the channel and you are the light and you are holding that space. And we
Mhm.
know that the gifts that you have that will be unfolding to share with all of humankind and with Gaia and with all the animals are going to be very important. And we send you so much support. And
Thank
so just
you.
let those messages come to you. And when you're ready, we'll be here to help you by being attentive and listen very carefully to your thoughts because you are just an amazing soul. Lowell, I love you, brother. You have a wonderful day, Chantal. You know how I feel about you, darling. We can feel that love all the way over here in California.
Love
Thanks,
you.
Uh,
Dave.
Thank you.
and
My
God bless.
last thoughts on Chantal is that's how I know how authentic Chantal is. Lots of people would just like to blab out everything that they know before they're in a position to really have assimilated it and understand what they're saying. But that's not you. You don't talk for the sake of talking to tell stories, that there's purposes behind it. And there are also
Mhm.
times when we're
Responsibilities.
ready to tell it and when we're prepared to tell it, because those are two entirely different things. Um, that I have a greater appreciation for. When Telos happened and I was telling people about it immediately after it happened, I wasn't ready to tell it. I
Right.
had not assimilated what had happened enough for me to put it into perspective. I was just looking for a freaking touchstone that could help me understand in some way. And that was my way of reaching out, not knowing where else to go for answers. But over time, I can see clearly now when I get downloads like the others do, and that they don't snap into place. It takes a few days for this assimilation to become an acclimation from
Right.
where you're aware of something to where you start to embody this change. And that is what's happening now. These physical changes to us, they
Mhm.
freaked me out a little bit in the last couple of weeks. And I thought I was unflappable. I thought I was beyond the fear component from 3D. Well, I am in one regard. But when the
Yeah.
changes happen physically and that wonderful stuff you are seeing can't turn off, oh, that's a little alarming the first couple of times it happens. That's when the differences between, assimilating it and
Mhm.
understanding what I'm being shown is way different than acclimating yourself to those conditions, because that is what's taking place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, such admiration and respect for you. Thank you for doing that. And you are going to be such a like grounding stone for, yeah, touching stone like for others who are gonna, we're all following that. So thank you for being that.
Thanks for saying so. Okay,
Oh, it's
kid.
true.
We'll be in touch soon because I want to hear
Absolutely.
about your adventures, and you'll be there soon. And I am curious to hear what you'll follow up with us later. Okay.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right.
Bye,
Namaste.
Lil. Namaste.